Good morning and welcome to Dualitea. I'm your host, Ash, and I am here with Girl on the Rocks. Thank you so much for pulling up. I'm so happy that we're finally having our podcast together.
It is about time. I don't even know how we did it like this. Like, how have we made it this far without doing this? Like, this is great.
Well, we had that podcast when I was on your podcast.
Yeah. That was a minute ago, man.
Yeah. And then, both of us being busy, just doing different projects that we're working on. Like, we try, and then we'd be like,
proud of you.
Thank you. I appreciate you. Proud of you, too,
Thank
and everything that you've been doing. It's so cool to even look and reflect back on, like, that time where we were when we first did your podcast and then where we're at now and the different...
We were babies, y'all. Babies. The setup was... We've progressed, I gotta say. I'm very proud of us and Kenny and Hub and
Facts.
All of our cool ideas coming to life and whatnot.
Absolutely.
Now we're here. Look at us. We're grown looking, too. Look at us. We've matured.
I love your shirt, by the way.
Thank you.
Love it so much. But yeah, I'm so happy that we're on here and we get the opportunity. Last week we were chopping it up and we're like, what are we going to talk about? We could talk about so many different things. We do talk about so many different things on a regular basis. Like, what is it that we should talk about? And, I think it's funny how we got into money, power, and respect,
Yes.
And shout out to the Locks and Lil Kim, because...
Perfect song.
It really is.
For the occasion.
It's funny because, like, anytime a podcast, like, rings a bell with a song, I always put it in.
You got to.
You got to show homage because it's like, where is it coming from? It's coming from a place, so I always, like, give homage in that way. So, I made this tea today. It's called the Rings of Saturn.
It tastes really awesome.
Cheers to Saturn, to good health and good friendship.
Y'all.
That's yum.
I'm an avid tea drinker. My grandma and I, we try to have tea, like, on a constant basis. This is my jam right here. She wouldn't drink it still because my grandmother is like a Lipton tea queen. Like,
that's where it starts at.
She's one of those people, like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Like, I like this tea. Don't bother getting me no other types of tea. This is it. So...
That's how I felt when I was first time. Yeah, shout out to your grandma for sure. Like, I felt the same way when I first tried Lipton tea. I was like, anytime someone would try to give me a different kind of, like, English breakfast of black tea, I'm like, no,
it's okay.
I'll
it's
take
okay.
you have Lipton. I'll take Lipton. But yeah, so getting into the topic a little bit, talking about, like, let's touch base on money, right? We'll go from tears. What has been your relationship surrounding money recently?
Well, if you guys would like to donate, please just click on the button below. And
Facts, we'll put our Zelle,
I need more of
PayPal, if you want to support.
So my relationship with money has been, as we all know, super crazy, up and down, especially as just a New Yorker. We live in such an expensive city, but it's the most exciting city. You know what I mean? So I could tell myself that I want to leave, but I'm not going nowhere. And this struggle is so much fun. Like, I really feel like that's why New Yorkers are the way that we are, because we're putting ourselves through this. Like, the world is such a big place, but when you come from New York, you always find yourself coming back to it. So I feel like we put ourselves through this because this struggle is just something that is unexplainable and so rewarding at the same time. Like, the days where it gets really tough and you have nothing, like not even 2 pennies to scrape together, like something cool will happen. Like, I'll book a really nice gig and I'm like, all right, cool. Like, I'm gonna get money in like 2 weeks.
That's a fact.
That's
a fact.
So also my relationship with money has changed a lot because I recently left my job, my 9-to-5, left that lifestyle, and now I'm really like living the full-time creative entrepreneur, project manager lifestyle. So not that there's not consistency coming in, because there is, which I'm super grateful for. But you just have to play things safer. You have to make like more in-depth decisions, thinking about how things are going to really affect you. Like going to the store and like just this morning going to the store, it's like, do I want to do this? And then I got to think like, all right, so what am I going to use? Am I going to use my cash? Am I going to use my card? Am I going to use my credit card? So it's so much that you have to think about on top of, keeping that persona that everybody is so used to seeing. It's like, oh my God, girl on the rock. She's so this, she's so that. And so sometimes when I'm really down in the dumps, and sometimes I hate that I have to change my mood based off money, which is so frustrating, you know, because I'll get in like a really stank mood because I need to pay for something, or let's say I just invested in myself. You know what I'm saying? Like, for example, I went and bought a speaker recently, and it hurt because speakers and stuff like that is not cheap, you know? So I went and I did it, and in the moment I was like, okay, yeah, like I did that, cool. And then the next day I was like, oh, damn, like I need to get my hair done, I gotta go get my nails done, I got an interview, I got a gig, da da da. So now it's like it's gonna take a little bit longer. So then I was like a little bit like in my feelings that next day, but then I booked a gig, and then I had another gig, and then things slowly started to trickle down the funnel as it always does. So I think my relationship with money is definitely changing where I understand it more. But I want it to work for me more. You know what I'm saying? Like, everyone always says, I don't want to live paycheck to paycheck and things like that. And I really, now that we're older, it's like, facts. You know what I'm saying? Like, facts. Like, I remember when I was a kid, I used to find money all the time. It was weird. Like, I would go on trips in camp, and I would find $20 on the back of the bus. Or I remember this one time I went to the ballpark over at the ferry and found like $50 in cash on the floor, like randomly. And I'm just wishing that luck would come back to me now. Come back to me now, please. Like, I would love to find $100 somewhere. Like, but yeah, so as a starving artist, but not a struggling artist, I feel my relationship with money is definitely getting more intimate.
Well, you're creating that love language with money and abundance, you know? And
yeah.
It's like, do you mind if I share, like, your horoscope sign?
No, please,
okay.
Go ahead.
So, like, being a Capricorn, too, you know, like, that's something that's, like, a
you
big
heard it right,
center around, you know, finances and stability. Yeah. So the fact that you made that leap, you know, to go from your 9 to 5 to an entrepreneurial kind of situation, which, like, you know, like you said, you're having that income coming in, and that's that stability. But at the same token, it's like, jumping into anything entrepreneurial, like, there's always a high risk.
Yeah.
And the fact that you were able to do that, that's a beautiful thing.
And the way that it makes you feel, too. You know, like, when you're doing this, you don't have to be at work at 8 o'clock in the morning. You don't have to clock out at the same time. You're not getting it's different. You know,
you're
like,
not working 9 to 5, you're working 24/7.
Yeah, you're working paid, you're being paid to do what you love to do, but you also have to discipline yourself to make that to-do list, to do things in an organized fashion, to make sure you do those follow-ups, make sure you call those people back and answer those emails and go to those meetings. And all of that really is like, at first, it was a lot. Like, I was like, what is happening? Because since I was 16, like, everyone, like, whoever really knows me, like, I was working. Like, I was 16 with, like, 3 jobs. And, like, that's just how it was forever. Everybody's like, Dude, you got mad jobs. Like, and I'm like, listen, I need the bag. Like, I like to live a certain way. I like to party. I like to travel. And I just want to have a good time, like, all the time. And so then I was like, wait, I can make this into a living. Wait a minute. Hold up. Like, I can party for a living? Let's figure out how to do that. Let's figure out how to capitalize off that. So that's where I'm at right now. And it's cool, you know? And I'm, like, really grateful that I'm at a point, too, where I tell a lot of people we get to choose what we want to do now. Yeah. You know, like, it's not so desperate anymore. Like, when, because I was doing some dumb gigs in the beginning, like, just anything, just to play music. Like, I'll go anywhere. But now I get to choose, and I get to say what I want and run up the price when I know that my worth is going up there. And but still take care of people and work with people's budgets, too. And I think that's a intimate relationship with money too, especially when it comes into the business aspect of it, you know?
Absolutely. Knowing the value of your worth, knowing the value of your time.
Because everybody wants favors. Yeah. Everyone wants discounts, you know, and bills got to get paid. You gotta make things work for yourself before you can really make it work for anyone else. So, and that's tough, because as a person who is an entertainer and as a person who feeds off of how people feel in a room, sometimes it's a catch-22, you know what I mean? Yeah. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think that, you know, our relationship with money can be a tricky thing, especially, like, given different circumstances when we grow up, if it's around us, if it's always the center of a problem. You know, I know for myself, like, I always grew up thinking, like, oh, like, yeah, like, I know I need money, but I don't want it. Like, I don't want it around me. Excuse me. And, like, then I've had to like nurture that relationship and being like, no, no, no. This is something I've been speaking. I've been saying, you know, I've said it to you. I've been saying it to Lloyd, to, you know, Ken, to everybody. It's like, why not us? Like, why not us become, that's not grammatically correct, but you know what I mean? But like, why not it be us to like, what's it? To receive abundance, to receive, you know, a lot of money and income, because we know not only are we going to take care of ourselves and ours, we're going to put it back into the community in a good way. We know what it's like when it's like, okay, you know, you're having an event and you want to book a DJ, you know, you're going to book them and tip them. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's the same thing for me in the different avenues that I make money off of, you know? So it's like, why shouldn't we have that experience? And, you know, and I'm like, you know, actually, we should absolutely be the ones who are creating an abundance of income, because it's going to go so many places in such a good way. You know, there is money everywhere. Yes. And then there is also expenses everywhere. So it's like, you know, whatever you focus on tends to grow.
Yeah, for sure.
And I even notice it with myself when, as an entrepreneur, when I start to focus on, oh my God, you know, like, you know, you have to manage, like, okay, if I'm not getting booked for something, or if I don't have a few jobs, like, you're like,
how
okay.
am I going to eat?
Exactly. And when you start focusing on that and, like, getting that concern, I feel like it's not that it shuts the door, but it slows down the faucet. Like, it's not shutting it off, but it turns it
absolutely.
lower,
Absolutely.
you know?
I get, like, irritated and irritable in my mood. Like, some days where it's just, like, so much that you're thinking about at once, right? Because you know, you gotta pay to live somewhere. You know, you gotta pay to look good, you gotta pay to get to where you gotta get to. You know what I'm saying? And then let's say something breaks, or after 10 years you gotta buy something new. After 10 years I had to buy a new laptop. I was so upset, and my laptop stopped in the middle of a show, which is like the worst thing that could have ever happened. And honestly, you guys, it was 100% my fault. I knew this day was coming. I was dreading it for years. I don't even know how my laptop lasted as long as
that
it did.
timing is wild, though.
Yeah, like I had this wedding a few years back. I'm actually doing my third wedding this weekend. Shout out to Emily and Romello. I'll see you guys this weekend. But I had a wedding a few years ago for a good friend of mine, and I had spilled an entire glass of wine on my laptop. Right before the reception, which was my time to shine. I ended up killing it, you guys. I had one of the bus boys take my laptop in the back and blow it off with like the dish thing that they use to dry off the dishes. And they blew the juice out, whatever, and I was good. And I never got it checked out. Like, I had one person look at it, but it was working. So I just was like, all right, cool. We're going to just vibe with this for a few months. And then a few months turned into a year, and then a year turned into a couple years. And then 3 years later, at a show, a live show where people are performing, my shit just went black. And it was embarrassing. But I was able to pick it up. Kenny, the best. We had the iPad in the back. Just had everybody send me stuff that way, hooked that up, and figured it out. But, make sure you guys are checking in on your technology, please. Like, do those little investments on yourself. A quick checkup on your stuff is so important, because then you'll make a mistake like myself. And so I ended up going to get my laptop checked out, and he was like, listen, you can either spend $800 getting this repaired, or you can put another $200 on top of that and just get a brand new laptop. So I was like, you know what? Fine. And I'm grateful that I did, because now my laptop is awesome, so... Shout outs to you, Lappy. Love you.
It's crazy how, like, these different circumstances will happen. It's like, you know, we know warning signs, and intuitively we can feel, but also logically we know, like, okay, certain things need to get checked in on, updated, invested in. And it's like, when we're moving in that, like, scarcity mindset, it could be hard to come to terms with that. It's like, even with our car, you know, the light can come on, right? And then you're like, it's all right. Like, I'm just going to wait a little bit. Let me see how bad it is. You might check how bad it is, get, you know, red from AutoZone or whatever, and be like, it's just a light, you know? But then you get pulled over, and then you get a ticket, you know? And then that's when you do it. And, like, sometimes we don't have to wait till that happens, you know? And I think that's also, but in the process of learning that, you know, that's the love language. That's the connection, not only with taking a break or checking in with our stuff, but it's also checking in with ourselves. Like, am I burnt out? Do I need to upgrade myself?
Right,
Am I running myself thin? Yeah, that's every time I always say this to people. Anytime something's going on with your car, make sure you're checking in with what's going on with you. Like, it's just like a weird parallel I've always noticed with myself. Like, if something's going on in my car, something's usually going on with me. Yeah. And I need to, like, check in with that. Yeah. So, you know, just like, and being able to, like, you know, have the same energy, like when we impulsively buy something, like have that, maybe not the same energy, but a similar energy, being open to invest in something that we know we need to, that's going to be
absolutely
our means to do what we do.
I agree, especially being like a DJ and just in event production and stuff like that. There's so much stuff that we buy that we end up investing in that could have went towards something else. You know what I'm saying? Like, those 3 drinks that I bought at that gig could have been my new headphones that I really need. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes you really got to step back and tell yourself, like, okay, this week I don't have any gigs per se. So this week I'm not going to do anything extra. You know, this week I'm going to order my new business cards. This week I'm going to start my new website. This week I'm going to make a few calls and make sure that I have shit set up for the rest of the month and things like that. So that's usually how I go about organizing my time. Like, if there's 4 weeks in a month, there's probably going to be this 1 week where I try not to do anything set in stone, so that could be my week to, like, regroup for whatever I have coming up. So,
well, that's good that you're able to monitor yourself like
I
that.
Try. I try to do that, y'all. It works when it works. But sometimes life takes on a path of its own, and I end up just getting super busy. But this week has kind of been like that, actually. Last weekend was really busy. This weekend's going to be super busy as well. We have a karaoke Halloween party here at the Hub. If you guys want to come party with your girl, you know. We are going to be here on Saturday, turning up. And Sunday, like I said, I have the wedding. So that's fun. But this week, I was able to kind of organize. We went to the studio yesterday. I had to jump on a track with Starda last night.
Why are you singing? Are you rapping?
I'm just saying words. I'm just saying words. Y'all can call it what you want to call it. I'm just saying words. I did not want to do it, but I knew it was coming. You guys, so you just stay tuned for the mixtape. It's dropping soon. No, I'm joking.
But looking forward to hearing what that comes out to be.
Yeah, so this week was a really nice organization week, but I'm looking forward to the rest of this month. September and October is always crazy because you have back to school. You have everybody trying to hurry up and do all of their events before it gets cold, and then you have Halloween. So, and then we have this horrible storm that's been going on. This weather has been absolutely not nice to us. So I'm looking forward to what this month and this last quarter of 2022 has to offer people. Hopefully some money, you know. No.
Well, you know, there's different things that I feel like, you know, people do, especially in like the new age community or in like just like quote unquote like spiritual community and things of that sort. Talking about like money and money rituals and calling things in, manifestation. Yeah. And you know, there's definitely times that I know as an entrepreneur when I didn't have a 9-to-5 that I was like really just banking on that, and like gratefully it would come through. Yeah. But something that I've learned, you know, that I feel like I would like to share is that making sure that we know what we want to use the money for, like our why. Yes. You know what I mean? Like so not important. Just like, okay, I want to manifest a Porsche. I want to manifest the house, or I want to manifest like enough money to get like a diamond chain or whatever the case is. It's like, but why do you want it? You know, and who else is going to benefit from it? I feel like once you understand your why, you start opening up the doors of abundance. You start opening up the passageway for it to come through. And not even on a daily basis, like I, you know, putting it out there, like, you know, even just saying like how you just said, like, yeah, hopefully, you know, October brings like money and prosperous, you know, energy and abundance in that way. And it's like, yeah, like I hope that it does, you know, for you, for us, for people, and anybody that, you know, has that vision that is out here, like took the chance on themselves to do the things that they always dreamed about doing, you know, and had the balls to like do it, you know, or like the audacity rather, you know, and just like to go in there and put yourself out there. It's like,
especially after such an uncertain time.
Absolutely.
After 2 years of everyone being like, so now what?
Mm-hmm.
You know,
like,
what I
mean?
Are
things closed? Are things open? Are we around each other? Are we not? Is it just
luckily for me, like you know, I had an essential job during the pandemic, which was great. But I will say during that time, you guys, like, I really saw, like, what it was like what our parents used to always complain about, like, just living paycheck to paycheck and being exhausted, coming home from work after all day, making somebody else's dreams come true, and just not having wiggle room. And, like, I'd come home after being social at my job all day, not wanting to be social at all. And it's like, you're a girl on the rocks. Like, you're a social butterfly. Like, this is your job, you know? And it was like, I don't want to do that. So it's like, so you don't want to do what you want to do. You want to be like everyone else. And it was like a constant thing that kept playing over and over in my head. So
it's like you get to learn to, like, you get to learn the compassion for the people. Yeah. Like, you know, it's like, that's something that I feel like that's come up for me as well, is like, you know, looking at people who have a 9-to-5, it's like, people who are entrepreneurs, I don't like to get it fucked up. Like, I don't want to advocate, like, the bashing 9-to-5 and things like that. Like, I think about it all the time when I am, like, stretching one thing out, and I'm like,
I'm about to go work at Guitar Center.
Yeah, like,
I'm going to work at Guitar Center. I will fucking go high in there. Like, I will start as a regular employee, and I will work my way up. Like, I will take the DJ section to heart. Like, I'm gonna go crazy at Guitar Center. Like,
it's because you understand. You're like, yo, it's logically it makes more sense to do that, but then you also see the pros and the cons. And you know, I also want to put that intention and that love out there for, like, that same thing with abundance, you know, for all those people who are getting a steady paycheck. Like, may you find abundance in another way that gives you encouragement to follow your dreams and to pursue things that, you know, you feel make you feel good and nourish your soul. Because a lot of times we get these 9-to-5s and they eat at our soul, and we get more and more separated from the things that we actually want to pursue. And then on the flip side, when you're doing the entrepreneur life, a lot of times, like, you're chasing your goal and you get discouraged because it's like you don't have the means to just live, you know? And so it's like, I do feel like the combination's usually like a really nice mix. But at the same token, you know, everyone has a different life to live and everyone has a different path. So I just pray and put that intention out there for anybody who's going through any money struggles. You know, may you deem yourself worthy enough to receive abundance and prosperity in a good way like that, and, you know, find it around you, because there's money all around us, and it's just about us, like, tapping into that. And it's like, I don't mean to say that in the way of, like, negating, like, you know, all of our traumas. You know, it's not like, oh, okay, like, money is there, we just need to tap into it. It's like, no, we need to unpack a lot of shit, and that's hard. Like, I don't want to make that seem like it's light or it's easy in any way, shape, or form, but it could be easeful. The more that we put in effort, even if it's just a moment of being like, I'm worthy of this. Like,
it all starts with you. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I'll definitely say. Like, just to be very clear, anyone who has a 9-to-5, anyone who's doing what they have to do it, right? We've all been there. Like I just said, I was a DJ working at a garbage company. That doesn't even make sense. Like, that's two totally different worlds, right? But I came in as an administrative assistant. Shout outs to Gata, by the way. I started as an administrative assistant, and I left that job as the social media coordinator and cultural affairs director. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, yes, I have a regular job or an essential job or a job that you probably won't see a lot of people like me in, right? But I made it my own. I showed them what I was interested in. I showed them that, oh, what I'm interested in can actually bring awareness to what we're working on, you know, and it can push us in a new direction and have us talking to different people that we didn't think we would need to be talking to. We started doing food drives. We started doing, you know, community cleanups, and we started doing back to school giveaways, and we started having the garbage truck guys come to schools and do show and tell and show the kids how all the garbage goes up and how it gets pulled down and recycled and all that. So it was really cool to do. And when I first walked in there, I didn't think I was doing any of that. You know, I thought I was just going to call people. What happened? We didn't pick up your garbage. All right, we'll be there tonight. You know, like, and that's how it started. And I could have let it easily be that, but I came in there every morning, bubbly, loud, loving what I was doing. This was my first full-time job as an adult, so I'm like, ooh, look at me, like, cool. And they were just like, okay, do what you want. And the first half of your day, you're going to do what we need you to do. But once you finish doing what you need to do, then you get to do what you want to do. So everybody who is out there doing what you have to do 9 to 5, even if you work at a damn cafe, make a TikTok. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, make it what you want to make it. If you have a really cool idea, throw it out there. Maybe your managers want to hear about it. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So you can make it anything that you want to make it.
Which leads to the next topic, being power, right? Is like knowing your power. And, you know, you walked into that space and it's like you went in there for money. And the power emanating from yourself, knowing your worth and what you're good at, led you to, you know, open up more doors in that experience so that you can do different things that you're passionate about in a space that you didn't even see that being possible.
Yeah.
And that's why I think it's also like so powerful to speak on power in the way that it's like, you know, that power from ourself, not just like the self-serving power, but the selfless power that comes in knowing our own worth and knowing, you know, how important we are and how important everyone is, and finding that balance, you know, staying humble in the sense of like, yes, I want to achieve success and I want to do great things, but then also falling back and understanding why and how, who is it benefiting besides yourself. And I feel like, you know, there's books like the 30, the 50, the 30, the 21, whatever, one of those numbers, the rules of power. Like, you know 48. What I mean? 48.
I think it's 48.
Yeah. All right.
I think so I have that book.
One of those numbers, and it's like there's all of these different things, and it's like and not to knock that book or whoever wrote it, I know that I've glimpsed into it, and there's certain things I'm like, word, that makes a lot of sense, that's dope, and then there's other things I'm like, that's super manipulative, that's actually narcissistic, that actually
I'm
is
gonna
like,
read that
you
today
know.
now.
Yeah, and it's like, it's good to like look at these things, and it's like, you know, I think that's also always good to, you know, not take everyone's word for, you know, face value, and just like also give yourself that filtration system with no matter what you're ingesting, whether that's a book, whether that's a podcast, whether that's a reading, whether that's, you know, a TV show, a conversation. It doesn't matter if it could be from your closest homie, your sister, your mother, your brother, your father. Right. It could literally, they can come out, and like they could come out, no, you're good. And they could come out and be like, yo, they could have the best interest for you, but they could also, we don't know how their day panned out. Maybe they had a fight with their partner, so now they're giving you advice, and it's jaded by their own experience. So it's good to listen to people, because even if you just listen, you can also see what you want. It's like when you flip a coin, right? You're like, I don't know if I want to eat like, you know, Chipotle or Azteca, right? Like, what do I want? You know, and then you flip the coin, and once the coin is up in the air, you're like, I actually really want green sauce. I want Azteca. I don't care what this coin says.
Or I don't even want none of that. Mm-hmm. I want Indian.
Actually, I'm gonna cook myself. You know what? Actually, I'm gonna save some money. Anymore. Yeah. Thanks. Like, you know, I'm supposed to be intermittent fasting. Like, what am I talking about with this food?
Damn, I only got $2. Mm-hmm. What we really about to do? Yeah. Call your mom for another $2 and walk to Wendy's for the 4 for $4? Mm-hmm. No, we're not.
Get a butter roll.
We're gonna have sleep for dinner, and that's it. Like, you know, sleep for dinner is a really good diet, y'all. No, I'm joking. But I would definitely say I agree with you 100%, because that's just adulting. I think the ghetto part. Yeah. The part that nobody likes to deal with. Yeah. You know?
Everyone wants to be Toys R Us kids. I get it. You know? I get it.
I do. I know I do. I want to be a kid again.
It's like we push so hard to be older, and then once you're older and you're an adult and you're like, this is what I was pushing for. But like, not to like making it, like, you know, down and out, because it's amazing. At the same token, you know, we have sovereignty. We develop sovereignty. We have relations with people that we couldn't have when we were younger. You know, we get to experience different things and explore. You know, you have a whole other realm of freedom when you reach a certain age.
I mean, girl, I know my parents is tired of me, because I've been exploring this whole damn time, and they just been like, what next? What now? Like, you know, like, it has not been an easy route for me, an easy journey. Like, when I had the purple hair, y'all remember when I had the purple hair? Because that was back in Live at Hub days. Y'all remember when we was doing the podcast and all. And I'll tell you guys, that was a part of my life where I was not powerful at all. I was being a major follower. I was being corny as hell. And I can go back and say that to myself now and be like, but we're good now. We're good now. I was mad at myself for so long. Like, how could you do that to yourself? You know, not that I'm saying like anybody dyeing hair is a problem, but the dyeing of my hair was such a significant time in my life because immediately after I dyed my hair, I cut it all off. I had my Britney moment. Y'all seen it. Y'all remember. All right, we're back. We're getting there. And so that's when I had first moved out of my mom's house. I was feeling myself. I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm out. Like, I'm grown. You know, I had a roommate. She had pink hair, so I'm like, dye me. It's my turn. I'm ready to do this, you know. Fucked my, can I?
Yeah.
Okay. Fucked my curl pattern up, okay. My hair felt like straw. And right in that moment, like, and I'll say this again, if you really know me, you guys know that, like, my hair is so important to me. I love my hair. And I'm team natural, OD. Not right now. I had to get that little press down because the shit was stressing me out. But what I will say is that before I dyed my hair, it was so important to me. So when I let go and gave that power to the situation, I won't say that I gave that power to my roommate, but that power to the situation, I was just so excited. It just was not me, you know? And so I had put braids in my hair because braids is like a comfortable, protective style for me. And when I took my braids out, my hair was so damaged that I had to cut it. Like, there was nothing I could do. Now, I didn't have to cut it the way that I cut it. I was getting crazy, girl. I was in front. I did it with scissors, with safety scissors, like school scissors, and it was just like a movie scene.
School
like,
scissors, no.
I had patches and lines and all types of shit going on. Mm-hmm. I went to my mother's house. She was like, I want you to come back home. I don't know what you got going on down there, but I need you to come back home. And I'm like, no, I'm not coming back home. But I was just going through a lot. And I can definitely look back and say, like, I get it, Brittany. Like, yeah. And don't we say that now? Like, as we all get older, we realize why Brittany did what she did. Like, absolutely. I get it, Brittany.
Absolutely.
I feel you, girl.
People do what they do.
Yes.
I have to constantly talk myself out of not shaving my head. I'm be honest with you. I was thinking about 2 days ago.
I won't do it again. Yeah. I promise I won't. But it really was a crazy time, and I felt very powerless. But I will say, like, I'm not in my favorite living situation, and we're not all going to be in our favorite living situation right now. We're all young in New York, just making sure that we have a roof over our head at this point that we can afford. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. But I'm definitely in a better space where I get to think more freely and I don't feel crammed in and caged in, and I'm just moving at the beat of my own drum, rather. Mm-hmm. So
well,
yeah, I just had to give that story time, because that time too, even like with school, I had went to City Tech for entertainment technology. Then I transferred and went to Hunter College for education. Like, girl, you graduated with your journalism degree. Like, what do you want to do with yourself? Like, you know what I'm saying? And now that I think back on it, I wish I would have stayed at City Tech and did entertainment technology, because I learned so much. Mm-hmm. And now that I'm in, like, full blown in the life of production, like, granted, I'm learning way more lessons out here doing things in real time. But I really do wish I could have stayed with that and didn't listen to so many of the outside influences. Not saying that they weren't good, mm-hmm. you know, because at the time I was working at the Children's Museum. And so obviously everyone's like, oh, you're so good with the kids. You should be a teacher. And I'm like, yeah, I should be a teacher. Right, I should. You're right. You know, and I'm like, all right, bye City Tech. I'm going to go be a teacher now. You know, and then the pandemic happened. I was like, you know what? Actually, I don't want to be nothing. Actually, I want to sit in the house, like, you know? So I didn't go back to school. And then a fucking wave of light came over me. And that's when we revamped We Just Working. We got back in the studio. We got all of our artists. We started doing events together. And we started really pushing. And I was like, oh, okay. I remember why we was doing all of this. So now to be at this point where it's like, yes, I have a degree, but I jumped around. I got to explore a little bit. I challenged myself. Then we went into a whole pandemic, but I'm still doing what I have to do, and I'm still standing on my own 2 feet. I'm just here to inspire. I can't control how I do it. I'm just here to do it, I feel. Like, and that's just why I'm here, you know? So that's why I'm putting together these events for people. That's why we're making sure that people have places to go, because, one, I'm sick and tired of people dying because they was at the wrong place at the wrong time. I'm trying to create the right places at the right time. Mm-hmm. Every time you come here, it's the right reason, for the right time, for the right people. You with the right crowd. We're going to take care of you. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So that's where I'm at right now. Like, I got to explore. I got to do all of that. I have so much more exploring to do. Will I go back to school? Maybe. Who knows? When I can afford it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not going to go to school and become tied to the government and got to owe them $60,000. And every time I go to a gig, I got to think, like, okay, so $33 of this whatever amount of money I have to put down for my student loans. Like, I'm not doing all that. Like, I'm going to go live my life. I did the college thing. It was fun. It was cool. Let's go party. And that might not work for everybody. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So I'm also happy with that, too, because I was, for a long time before I found my team, I was trying to force my lifestyle on people so that they would come out with me, so that they would come and support me and all of that. And it was like, all right, stop forcing. Like, just let people come to you. Stop begging. Just let things happen for you. Yeah. You know? And that's what we're doing. Like, just the other day, I was telling one of my friends, I was like, I really don't care about no algorithm. Mm-hmm. I don't care about insights and likes and who's unfollowing and who's this and who's that and what the peak times are. I'm going to post when I want to post. Mm-hmm. I'm going to make really cool videos that I think are cool. And I know that there's only going to be 1% of people who don't fuck with me. And that's fine. That 1% of people, I'm really not worried about, because there's billions of people who are going to probably love it. And at the end of the day, I'm doing it for this person first. Like, that's just where I'm at. And I think that's, like, power.
Absolutely.
You know?
That's your journey, you know.
And walking in with that.
In order to, like, understand our power and, like, to really, like, live in it and cultivate it within ourselves, recall our power, whatever the case is, like, we have to go through those powerless moments. Like, nobody is exempt to that, you know? So it's like, even in those moments that, you know, we might change our hair a bunch or, you know, get a tattoo we might regret or a piercing, whatever, like, do these different things that we can sometimes do when we're going through these transitions, you know? It's like a lot of times we want to change things about our appearance when we want to change things about our internal.
Yeah, 100%.
And it's like going through that process is like, it's a beautiful opportunity for us to look, you know, I know when we're in the thick of it, it's like, fuck, you know, like, it's like, like,
you know, you saying that makes me, it made a light bulb go off in my head, because maybe that's why I have such a big relationship with my hair, because I can control how my hair looks, which means I can control what you see, which means I can control what your perception is of what I'm going through. Mm-hmm.
It's a whole
So, yeah, I'm going to have this long-ass Beyonce fucking ponytail down to the ground, because you're going to think that I come off a certain way, that I carry myself a certain way, and that I have a certain amount of confidence, but I was just crying in the car, braiding this shit down. Like, you know what I'm saying? But... camera on, like, you know what I mean? And so maybe, like, damn, you always got me, you see what she does, y'all? You see what she does? She always got me tapping into some shit and making me want to cry up here, man. Damn. Saving lives.
I'm just listening.
Shit.
I'm just listening, girl. I'm happy that you're able to find that, you know, for yourself.
What's my hair saying today, y'all?
It's saying chic. It's saying self-love. It's saying powerful. You know? It's saying well taken care of. Nourished.
Ding dong.
Speaking of hair, I'm getting my hair dyed right after this.
Are you?
Yeah. Well, the whole thing with like, you know, shout out, hey Kim, like shout out to one of my hairstylists that I've been working with. You know, I've been going through this whole process of like I did a bunch of changes with my hair. Yeah. And once it was like, fuck it, it was just off to the races, because I'm like, it's damaged anyway. I could throw whatever color in it. I said that until the right side of my hair broke. You know what I mean? So, like, that's why, you know, it's tucked in for a reason. I'm going to let y'all in on a scoop. But, yeah, you know, right now, you guys. I appreciate you.
Yes,
you know,
she be going off. When she do the curls, the little pin-up curls, and she drop, mad cute. Mm-hmm. Okay? I'm excited. You're not going to tell us, are you?
Yeah, no, y'all have to see next week.
See, she always do this to us, but I like that. But the suspense of it all, because then when I see her, I'm like, oh, nice. Like when you did the rainbow.
Oh yeah, that was one. Yeah, that. I was just talking to the hairstylist that did that for me the other day. That was such a dope journey. Shout out to the hair witch. She's mad dope. Like she really did. She did her thing. Lisa franked up my hair. Like, that shit was dope. But yeah, you know, it's like, I feel like even, you know, what you were saying before with the hair, like, I could definitely resonate with that. Is like, there's so many different levels and layers to it. So I want to like give it like kind of like a summary. Essentially, it's like, I will go through every 5 years. I feel like it's like a consistent thing where it's like, I'm like, our hair is so important and we have energy in our hair and we should just keep it as natural as possible and just nurture it because, you know, we need to honor our antenna. It's like our antenna, you know, there were studies done with indigenous people when the colonizers came over where they were like, all right, like, cut your hair off. Like, we're trying to, like, you know, destroy your culture and you have to be ours, even though we wear white wigs that have curls in it for whatever reason. But yeah, so it's like, you know, they did that thing. And then they realized that because the males were like, nah, we don't want to do this, you know? Yeah. And then when they cut their hair off, they realized that they weren't as accurate of hunters. So it was like this antenna, you know, like very Avatar-like, you know? And in that way, it's like, with that understanding, I'm always like, okay, my hair is super sacred. I have to just let it exist and do its thing. Yeah. And then I'll hit this. Well, 5 is a year of change, so it makes sense. I do every 5 years, where I'm like, actually, I need to fucking change something. Right. And I'm like, I need to just do something. I'm like, and it always starts out like, I'm just going to do a little strip. Just one strip, and then that strip becomes half my head. And then
that's like when you're doing eyeliner, and you're like, all right, I'm going to do a little cat eye. And then you fuck the cat eye up, and now you got a fucking whole...
You got Amy Winehouse situation. Yo, it's crazy how, like, if we allow ourselves to, like, take initiative, we take a mile with ourselves when we do certain things. And, you know, but the thing that I've been finding compassion because I used to beat myself up about me frying my hair and like I'm like, why am I not getting this lesson? Like, why is it that every 5 years? Yeah, because then I'll let it get natural, and it's like my hair works optimally when it's natural. Like, it's nice and wavy, and it does its thing, and it's like, and I don't have to do much to it. But when I start dyeing my hair, I have to constantly do it. And I'm a medium maintenance girl. Like, I'm really not trying to do that. Like, until I got the funds to like pay somebody to do that, that's not the lifestyle for me, you know. So I'm like sitting there, I'm thinking, I'm like, why, you know, beating myself up, and I'm like, you know what? But our hair holds energy, and it stores trauma, just good and bad. I know with myself, if I don't fry my shit off, I'm not cutting it. Yeah, because I really don't. I'll trim.
The day I cut it off, I went in the shower, y'all. And as a black girl, like, you're not allowed to get your fucking hair wet. Ever. Like, ever. So to stand in the shower and let it fall over my head, I was sobbing in the shower, like, feels so good. Like, it was insane. It was such a sacred moment. I was like, damn, my mom's gonna beat my ass, but damn, this shit feel good. Like, this is what y'all be feeling when y'all get your hair wet. Like, I've never, like, you know, unless I'm washing it. But even when you're washing it, you're not letting the water really touch your root. Like, to have water touching my head was insane. So I'll definitely say I relate with you. So much energy in it. Even, like, good and bad. But I think it's a balance, like everything else. You know what I mean? So...
Absolutely. That's why we gotta be careful with who touches our like who
I think
touches
everybody
our head,
should cut their hair at least once.
At a certain point, this is why I've been like low key really trying. I'm like, my face is very round to have a shortcut. So I'm like, girl, off the strength of that, just keep it.
Is worry about like accessories, you know? True. So if you go super short, you gotta wear big earrings and like chunky necklaces and things.
Well, it's a cute thing. You get to see that other side of yourself, you know, you get to see a side that, you know, some cultures, like I know with my mother, when she was younger, like she got shaved bald because that's like that was the thing, like you have to shave their head bald so that grows back thick, you know. Not that my mother, I'm sure, had thick hair, you know, but just in case, you know what I mean. So
that's tradition, and you just go along with it sometimes, you know.
For sure. So like, you know, talking about power, talking about energy, you know, all that stuff. It's like sometimes we have to do certain things. Like, we can't hate the process if the journey is what also brings us to the realizations that gets us to the destinations that we've been trying to get to forever. Like, we have to also give thanks to those moments that we fried our hair and broke it off and then had to find something else about ourselves that we found value in. Because at the end of the day, this is, as much as it is us internally, we worry a lot about this because it's the perception of we believe people are going to look at us and see. But no matter what, if we're just living from the inside, it don't matter if you look crazy. You know what I mean? Like, there's plenty of times that I've walked out, like, once, you go to the corner store, the deli, like, looking crazy.
Looking
you know what
crazy.
I mean?
And I always see somebody.
Yeah, right.
I always
and like,
do. I hate that
I feel like when I do see somebody, it's either like a really weird situation or it's a really like great situation.
Yeah.
And then I had this like beautiful conversation in my chanclas and like, and like my sweatpants, and I'm just out here looking like a bum getting us deli sandwich, and like I
just be
broke through a portal of like the earth.
I'm letting y'all know now. If y'all see me in the deli just trying to order a sandwich,
mind your own business.
Just let me rock, please.
Just mind your own business.
You, like,
I feel the same way about the gym. Like, when you're in the gym, it's like, please don't talk to me. Like,
right?
If you want to talk to me, like, hit me up. Just don't talk to me at the gym.
I just started going to the gym with my boyfriend, and I will tell y'all, it's awkward. Luckily, I haven't seen anybody I know for real, but like, I'm trying to get in the zone right now. I'm trying to go in. I'm trying to get these gains.
Life hack for anybody who wears glasses. I got contacts in right now. So life hack for anybody who has impaired vision, right? Take your contacts out, wear your glasses, put your glasses down when you're working out, because you literally can't see nobody. I do that anytime I don't really want to socially interact. Like, if I'm going into the mall, when I'm not in the store, I'm looking for something.
Oh, the mall,
I just take my glasses off.
I'm done with the mall.
I take my glasses off.
I don't even go to the mall because it's just too much. I'm like,
it's very overstimulating.
I haven't been there in a while. Like, I'll like park exactly where the store is. Gonna see 15 people I know.
Yeah. It's like, all right, well, hi to my second grade teacher.
Right.
Like, one of my ex-partners, one of this, like, one of that. Yeah. It's just like it always be like the people that you're like, yo, if we talk right now, we're gonna have to talk a lot.
I know I'm going to Primark, and I ain't going nowhere else. So.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even recognize the mall no more. We used to know the mall like the back of our hand.
Now it's like
Jason
the upgrades
this way,
and everything
Macy's
has changed.
This way, Sears that way. Like, now it is just.
You don't got the cube no more.
The food court is not what it was. Like,
it's like fancy now.
You can't go to the mall with $20 anymore. You know what I mean? Like, did your parents used to just send you to the mall with like $5-10 in your pocket and just be like, have a good day? My mom used to be like, here, $20. See you later. Like, Dora vibes. Bro, I used to have so much fun at the mall. Like, I used to have so much fun.
Actually, I mean,
we
like,
would
actually,
just
yeah,
go
because
to the
if
food
you
court.
were, like, going to meet up with your friends,
you just sit in the food court for 6 hours.
Like, that's a big middle school move.
Hell
like,
yeah.
It's like, okay, you're in the mall.
The
or
mall
like,
was the shit, man.
Yeah, my father was very protective, so he would be in the mall, low-key.
Facts. Oh, of course. Yeah. My mom be like, meet me back in front of Macy's at 3 p.m. Okay, bet. I need money. Here's $20. What I'm gonna do with this? Matter of fact, thank you.
Yeah, word. I'm gonna get food. I'm gonna get food.
Yeah.
You're gonna get what is the teriyaki spot?
Yeah, teriyaki chicken and the rice.
Oh my God,
like, come on, let me get a sample. I know what it tastes like, but let me get a sample. Let me get another one.
Where you come back, you just like move your hat to the side. You're like, if you're listening to us, don't if you work there,
it's
we're
not
sorry.
the same.
It's
not the same.
We were broke. We were
Saku
just trying to
ramen,
get some chicken.
I think that was Saku.
Saku, yeah, I think it was Saku.
Yeah, shout out to that man. The bomb.
Yeah,
the bomb.
But yeah, so getting back into that,
Sorry, y'all. Cajun Cafe. That's what it is.
Oh wow,
Okay.
Lori's on it.
We might have to go down to the mall now.
I know, now I'm in the mood for it. I was just like,
and we look good. Damn, they're like, girl,
like,
I wish the people at these restaurants knew me. Shit, let me get a discount or something. Like,
but yeah, so yeah, get back into it. So we hit money, we hit power. Now we're gonna talk about respect. So respect is something you very much so have to give in order to get, in one way or another. And I feel like the more we respect ourselves, the more we are able to get respect from others. And if we are not getting respect from others, we're able to kind of shut it down very fast. And that doesn't have to look like a whole scene. It could just be like, I'm not going to participate with this person and in this environment, in this space, because there's no respect.
Yeah. It's hard to navigate respect in this day and age, especially in this industry, I guess you could say. I'm just like, I don't know now. I ain't got patience. I don't got it. I don't have patience at all. that is one thing about me that is either gonna skyrocket me or bring me to a screeching halt. And to be honest, if I have to get to some screeching halts with certain people, then that just means that you are not meant to be in my space. I can feel bad energy as soon as I walk in a room. Mm-hmm. I can feel bad energy through text messages, through a phone call conversation. And to be honest, I really don't know why people gravitate towards me so much. I guess because I'm just so nice and I have a nice smile. I'm really easy to approach. People are easily attracted to me. You know what I mean? And I will definitely say...
They have a magnetism to you.
Yeah. And you know, now that I have to be more professional and now that I've matured a little bit, it's changing. Respect is changing. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not the best, and I already know that. But I feel like I work pretty damn hard for what I do, so I expect certain things. You know what I'm saying? And I just really expect people to just be nice, kind individuals when they approach me. You know what I'm saying? So the same way that I would for anyone else. So I think that respect goes a lot into doing your research, right? Mm-hmm. Like, don't hit up anyone that you haven't done your research on in a tone that is disrespectful, because you're going to get told off. Do your research, especially, like, for example, having a guest on the show, right? You have to do your homework. Mm-hmm. I've watched and I've studied so many interviews with hosts that didn't do their homework, or maybe didn't have that, like, pre-conversation with their guests before the camera came on, just to see what they do and don't want to talk about. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, those things are so important. And also just wasting time. You know, wasting people's time is very annoying. And you have to understand that time and money go hand in hand, you know? So a lot of the times, especially in this creative outlet that we're living in, sometimes you got to do stuff for free. You know, especially when you're starting out doing stuff. Like, when I was starting out as a DJ, even now, I still do things for free if I really believe in it. Yeah. And when you're building your name and you're just trying to practice, like, money is not the issue. You know what I'm saying?
But it shouldn't be expected that it's gonna be not for free. Yeah, it's like a choice.
Granted, if I'm doing something out of the kindness of my heart, don't take advantage of me by being late. Mm-hmm. Don't take advantage of me by making things drag on. Don't take advantage of me by expecting me to do things because of whatever preconceived notions there are. If you, like, for example, if you said the event is from this time to this time, then the event is from this time to this time. Don't just assume that I want to stay for 3 more hours. You can kindly ask me, and the chances are I'm going to want to because I love DJing. I love doing what I do. Like, I always end up doing a few minutes later or longer than I'm supposed to, just because it's also very awkward to end a set as a DJ. It's like, all right, and the party's over. No, you know? So I like to kind of give
you get the lights on in the club moment.
Yeah. So, but there's been a bunch of times where, even on myself, I have to be more respectful of people who may have been in the industry longer, right? And be more patient with people as far as mental health is concerned, you know, because right now we're in a day and age where everybody got something going on with them, you know? And I also got to take into account that there's 24 hours in a day, and that one moment that someone is talking to me, maybe their tone of voice is because 3 hours ago they had an argument with somebody, or maybe yesterday somebody in their family passed away. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes I got to check myself. I got to check myself quite often, actually. And I'm okay with saying that out loud. Absolutely. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I be annoyed sometimes, y'all. Like, I be annoyed. Like,
should be annoyed sometimes.
Sometimes things are moving so fast, and when you need things done and you need it done a certain way and things aren't being delivered, it's like boom, 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 boom. Why is it not like this? Why is it not like that? And I think a lot of that comes from expecting yourself and other people. You know? There's certain things that I just can't expect other people to do the way that I do it specifically. You know? So I can't really fault them for that. In the heat of the moment, I'm angry, I'm emotional, I'm impulsive, so I might spaz out. You know, but I'm definitely somebody that if I do that, I always try to at least go back and say, hey, like, you know, just want to let you know that I had some time to think. I had some time to cool off. And I'm sorry for if I hurt your feeling, blah, 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 blah. But I think a lot of that happens, especially like doing live shows. Let's say the whole live show goes great, and then one performer, the mic goes out or something happens. Now they think that everybody's fucking with them and messing up their sound on purpose and things like that. That's stuff that I run into. Or even like this pandemic, you put an event together and then 2 days later people are calling you, cursing you out because they got fucking COVID, you know? And it's like, whoa, like, put some respect in my shit. I had everybody wear masks. I had hand sanitizer at the door. We took temperatures. Like, it's not my fault. Like, the shit is airborne. What you want me to do? You know what I'm saying? And
you can't monitor and police anyone who's hugging someone, kissing someone, doing something.
Yeah,
you know
like,
what I mean?
the fuck? But it's a lot of different challenges when it comes to that. But I think just having an open heart and an open mind whenever you walk into anything is so important. And just having patience with yourself and other people, because it's tough, you know, especially when you have a job to do and you're just like tunnel vision. I need to get this done. Anything that gets in the way, fling it that way, fling it that way. Get out my way. Do this, do that. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes when you have a project or you have something that you're really trying to get done, it's easy to just come off as the bitch. It's easy to come off as the diva. It's easy to just start shouting out demands and telling people what to do in a tone that they might not feel. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But we all got something that we need to do, you know? And I think a lot of respect comes from just people knowing and tapping into whatever it is that they're going through internally and just checking themselves and doing like a quick little breath prayer. That's something that my grandmother told me all the time. She used to say, do a little breath prayer, a 10-second breath prayer before you walk into a room, or if you get frustrated, walk out, do a quick breath prayer like, God, give me the strength to get through this shit right now. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, for real. Just take a deep breath, like, because it could get sticky, y'all. It can get sticky. But, yeah, you know, and production, time is a big thing. And when you're putting things together, turning on cameras, doing sound checks, so much time goes by. So being on time for stuff is super important. If someone gives you a deadline, like, try your best to make it. And if you can't make it, explain yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's another thing. Don't just leave people in the dark.
It's all about communication.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Respect
is a big
respect
thing.
And communication go hand in hand. So I think that's a lot of what I've been dealing with.
Because it clears out any resentments that may come up. Like, there's obviously, there's times where you're noticing, like, okay, someone showed up late, or like, and then if they just say nothing and they just show up, and then it's just like, okay. And then, or, you know, if that's something that consistently happens, then it's like, well, you're not respecting my time. You're not respecting me. You're
how about the people, how about the folks who, when you meet them, they seem amazing and cool and great, and then when it's time for the shit to get done, it's like, who is this person? You know what I'm saying? And that happens a lot too. And that's just, that could be nerves, right? That could be fear. That could be this person's not in their comfort zone or whatever. But then there has to be, okay, you're not in your comfort zone. Now I have to respect you and try to get you comfortable, right? But me trying to get you comfortable and all of that is eating at time. And you're paying for time. So I need, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's give and take. Like, people have to be prepared to do certain things. And you got to have your ducks in a row when you want to have and present
and even communicate
things.
If you don't.
Like, and because we have, especially here at this space, like, we have so much that we could provide people to make them,
absolutely.
Okay, I didn't finish my makeup on time. I didn't get dressed on time. We have a green room for you here. Come here. We'll play some music for you while you get ready. You know, like, we'll get you to where you need to get to feel comfortable.
That pride a lot of times get in between
pride
communication.
Too. Yeah, pride, like, fear, nervousness, you know what I'm saying? All of that can play a part, but you have to think about the other people that it's affecting too.
Absolutely.
You know what
Respect
I mean?
Is definitely a big
even
thing
with your team, you guys. Like, even if people are on your team, even if you work with family, don't take advantage of that either. Like, you know, if you have a team full of people that you're with, your cousins and your brothers and all of that, you got to separate that. You know what I'm saying? You got to get things done and you have to give them tasks, but don't talk to them like that's your sibling. You know what I'm saying? Talk to them like an employee, but also talk to them like an employee that you respect. You know what I mean? So, I think myself and my team, we run into that all the time, like, because we're all so close. So sometimes we'll get frustrated with each other and start bickering with each other like brothers and sisters, and then we gotta sit back and like be like, damn, bro, I'm sorry I said that. Like, I'm sorry I said that. I was just tight about this show that we was doing. I needed batteries. Nobody was bringing me the batteries quick enough. Like,
and
you know?
Like, at the end of the day, you boiling down and you communicating, and that's like, and that's showing not only the respect for others, but also the respect for yourself to clear that out. Yeah. You know, because it's like, if we're harboring things, it's like we're not even respecting ourselves, because we're not even respecting the fact that we have an ability to have a voice. Yeah. Simultaneously, you know, on the flip side, sometimes we speak before checking in with ourselves and have.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
We've all been there. Exactly. So I think that, you know, being open and sharing your levels of experience and having those pre-conversations are super important too, right? Especially in the world of production when you're on camera and things like that. Having that 20 minutes before the camera goes on is so important. Absolutely. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Having that 20 minutes before you walk on the catwalk is so important. Having that 20 minutes before you start DJing is super important. You know, because let's talk about it. Respect as a DJ for special events. I have so many different cultures in one room, right? So you got to make sure that you're playing something for everybody. There's some songs, people say things in songs, you guys, that you might, like, you're just thinking or listening to one part of the song, and they'll say something that might not sound offensive to you because where you come from and how you were raised. But there's maybe 5 people at that party that one line that was said is offensive as hell. You know what I'm saying? So all for of that plays a major part. Like, oh my goodness. I remember I was at this event. It was a Christmas party. And the host was Jamaican. So I was playing some reggae music. Like some reggae Christmas music or something. And I had my DJ deck on autoplay, and I had walked away real quick. And then a song had played, and it was like this slur that they said. And it was offensive. And I was just like not even thinking about it. And somebody came over to me and was like, can you change the song like right now? And I was like, why? Like, what happened? And they were like, he just said what he said. And I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah, I got you. Play next song. You know what I'm saying? But that's a lesson learned. So I think we all have to, we can't know what we won't tolerate unless we go through it. And I've said that on I'm a Fan, Kim. Yes, if you guys, can I do a shameless plug?
Of course.
Okay, cool. So if you guys are enjoying our awesome interview, there's another awesome interview with me and Kim right here at Hub 17 for her show, I'm a Fan. So if you guys are a fan of everything that we're doing here, make sure you check out this entire interview. And and I'm a Fan. And if you want to see myself, if you want to see Kim and some of our other friends, you can come out to our Halloween party this Saturday at Hub 17 at 8 p.m. And you can come a little bit early to sign up because it's going to be a hoot. We're going to be doing karaoke. Halloween karaoke. It doesn't have to be a Halloween, but yes. And Ash will be there too.
Yeah, so and I just had the honor and the privilege to be on I'm a Fan as well, so I'm excited to see that come out. So yeah, shout out to Kim, and shout out to Hub, shout out to Kenny, you know, and to everybody here doing their thing, and to anybody anywhere that's doing their thing, you know, because there's a hub everywhere, I'm sure, and there's someone somewhere that is just creating a safe space for creatives, you know. I want to say misfits and people of all different creative spectrums to come together to have that safe space in order to create, build, and to do, you know, because we don't always have access to that in our homes and in our lives. So platforms like this are so important, you know, to exist. And that's what I strive, you know, even with this podcast, is to be an extension of that for anybody who may not have that, you know, so I hope that they can feel and tune into that when they listen, you know.
I appreciate this podcast the most, you guys, for everything, but my favorite part, personally, was the tea. Because you can get cotton mouth very easily up here. Okay? Take notes, all right? You have to have things for your guests. Respect. I'm just saying. Take notes. She's been doing this for a while. What episode is this? Like 3,476. Like, she is a beast at what she does. Yeah. You know? And we had a conversation days prior talking about what our theme was going to be. And she just, you know, asked me what I'm comfortable with and what day is good for me, what time is good for me. And you have to do that background work with your guests and with your friends, because we're great friends, but how did she know that in the last 2 or 3 days I didn't go through something and now I'm totally out of it and not even in the, you know what I mean? So you guys definitely take notes on this great work that she is doing. If you're interested in being on the show, make sure that you reach out to her. Reach out to Hub 17. Reach out to any of us and we'll funnel back here to Duality. I want to give you your flowers because
I appreciate
so proud of you. Here, outside of here, being somebody who changes lives and really knows what you're talking about. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's proof, there's receipts. You're not just saying like a bunch of random stuff. And I feel it. Every time I'm around this girl, she got me in stitches. Today, I'm just being strong because I got makeup on, y'all. All right? I just being strong, all right? She is something, and she moves me every time we talk. It could be a 5-second conversation, you know what I mean? And I'm super happy to be here. Make sure that you guys are constantly supporting platforms like this. And that can be by starting your own. That can be by starting your own and having a voice for yourself. And if we and anyone who came before us and whoever is doing it while we're doing it now can inspire you to do that, I think that's the main mission of all of this.
Absolutely.
So
thank you so much for coming on the pod.
Yes.
And thank you for, for everything. And for being you. I love you so much. I'm happy that
this is my friend for real. I'm like dead serious about that. So money, power, and respect. We need more money, but we're happy with what we have, right? We're super grateful for what we have. Absolutely. Power is the ability to walk into rooms and own that shit. And respect is everyone in the room to reciprocate that same energy. Like, yes, I'm walking in a room and I know I'm the shit. You should walk in a room and know that you're the shit. And we should walk out the room together knowing that we just came in, made a mockery, and now we're walking out. You know, we came in, we destroyed the room. We did what we had to do. We said what we had to say. And now we're leaving. We came, we conquered, and we left. You know what I'm saying? So don't hate on the next person. Just let them be them. If they fuck up, then they fuck up. If you're given an opportunity to give advice, then give advice. But if you're not, keep on moving. Give yourself that advice. Write it down and put it in your journal and keep going. Like, vibes.
Facts.
That's it.
Well, before we completely conclude the pod, I have some cards and I have my solar plexus bowl.
The cards.
Which one you want me to start with? The cards?
Yeah.
No, and with the bowl. So I brought the
cards
solar
be
plexus
reading me,
bowl.
y'all. They be reading me. Every time we do this.
So, I brought the solar plexus crystal singing bowl. And because everything that we're talking about today, it's funny because it's like the topic in itself can seem very vain, but clearly if you listen to the podcast, you know it's much deeper for us.
Yeah, 100%.
That's why I also thought it was funny that we chose that. Because it's like, to...
Money, power, and respect, baby.
Yeah, it could seem like it's something that's very, like, trivial, but it's actually very depthful and, could also be very selfless.
Yeah. And they're all things that we can and can't live without, right? Like,
absolutely. That's the reality is, like, we could all think that we're, like, oh, we can just, like, live with, like, love and peace and nothing else. But, like, in the day and age, yes, we need to cultivate that love within ourselves and spread it outside of us. Yes, we need to cultivate that peace within ourselves and spread it outside of us. We also need to eat. You know, I mean, I want to say, unfortunately, it's like, because, money is a man-made construct, and it's like not something that is actually measurable or valuable as opposed to the riches that we have within ourselves, but that is what we need. That's the
It's insane.
it's what we were born into. For whatever reason,
insane.
we all chose to
like,
be
ladies,
here at
you
this
ever
time,
wanted to
you know?
like kick your man out because you don't have money, and it's like, why are you here? Have you ever felt that way?
I've done it.
Right, like, and there's no logic to it. There's no logic to it. It's just like, my wallet's empty, and you're just there doing what you're doing, and it's pissing me off. I need you to leave, and there's no logic to it. Like, and it boggles my mind. Like, and sometimes I have to catch myself, like, girl, like, it's a piece of paper. It's multiple pieces of paper. Why are you letting this shit really control your emotions like that? And it's just, I don't know. I don't know, and I don't think any of us know really what that is, but it's just, it really is something that controls the way that we move and operate. It's scary. It is quite scary.
Because it makes it strikes up our survival, our fight or flight.
Yeah.
You know, and it brings that in a really dire way, because it's like, you know, you don't
like,
have
if it doesn't get destroyed, where, right? Like, I don't, like, so.
It's just the reality we live in. That's just the reality we live in. I want to also say, low-key, real quick, if Lori's outside, you can come in. But yeah, so I'll keep it pushing. But I don't know if she's outside because she might be coming. But yeah, anyway, that wasn't for anybody else but Lori. Anyway, now, like, with that being said, you know, it is the reality that we live in. And it's what we have to navigate through, whatever your belief system is, whether you're choosing to, you know, whatever you believe you chose to walk in to this life. If you believe that you chose to be born at this time, then you know you have to navigate. If you don't believe that, well, this is just what you have to navigate, because you're here now. So with that being said, I am going to pull a card for each: money, power, and respect. Okay. So
I hope I get a good one for money, y'all. I hope I get a good one for money.
I pray in a good way, great spirit. For me to be the vessel that connects.
Ooh, those cards got like a little bit of gold on around it, so I know it's gonna say some shit. I know it's gonna read me like a book. Oh my goodness.
I just want to put the prayer out there for this reading to be consensual for whoever wants to receive it, and if you don't want to receive it, you could. It's not for you to receive in a good way like that. So
she's shuffling.
I'm going to pull for what can help us. Anybody who is tuned in at this time that could benefit from this in this moment. What can help us with our relationship towards money?
What can help me with my relationship towards money? Oh,
Lord. Taking charge of the situation. Tapping into our heart. Tapping into what feels right for us. And, you know, it doesn't have to mean like, you know, monetizing off of your hobbies. It could literally, you can be, one of your hobbies could be, you know, painting, right? And then, one of our hobbies could be, you know, painting, but you might feel really good about teaching. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't have to do with painting. It's just about understanding what emotionally and what feels good in your heart, you know, but then also putting action to it, because the thing is like emotions is all about like receptivity, and then like action, so you're giving that feminine energy or that yin, right? And then the yang is to put the action in. So it's like put your actions into what fills your heart up. That is what's going to help us with our relationship with money. Putting actions into what fills up our heart.
And the picture of Moses is pretty moving too.
Yeah
he's
exactly.
like, listen, y'all, I'm gonna take y'all up here. Just trust me. Just trust me.
Yeah, because he's opening up the water. He's opening up the ocean in this one.
Right.
That's crazy. It's like just trusting the fact that like you can take charge of your situation with finances by creating your own path, even amidst an ocean, a lake, a river. Like you can forge your own path through whatever obstacle might be coming up, whether that's emotional, physical, mental, or spiritual.
Take charge.
What is to help us with respect? So to help us with respect is listening to ourselves and being open to the things that we need to change. Oh no, this is power. But I said respect, so I'm gonna keep it respect, and then I'll pull this one for power.
Okay.
So this one is, yeah, I'm gonna hop back to it. So we'll go into money, power. What can help us with our relationship to power within ourselves and outside of ourselves? What can help us navigate it? Freedom. The energy of freedom supports our senses and limitless possibility of potential and boundless expression or bold expression. So, what can tie us to our power is knowing that we have the freedom to express it. You know what I mean? We have the freedom to express it, but also being grounded in that freedom, because freedom can be a drug too, and freedom could take us like in places like where it's like, oh, okay, but I feel free, and then there's no roots.
Right,
so I want to encourage like being grounded in your freedom is going to help you unlock your power, and also just knowing that like, yo, you can really do whatever you want to do. I know it's not that simple, but it could be that simple in thought. You know, it might not be that tangible in reality, but once it becomes more tangible in thought, it becomes more tangible in reality, where you can move forward and you can like start to see it happening around you.
And you're free from your fear, you're free from any nervousness, you're free from doubt. Once you're free from all of the things that was blocking you from all of those things, fear, right? Nervousness, and all of these things are just blocks from where you have to go to get to where you want. So once you're free of all of that, it's like there's literally nothing standing in my way.
And it doesn't mean that like it doesn't exist. It means like you will always be tested. Like you, just because you're free of something doesn't mean it's not around you. You just are not letting it permeate and penetrate and take you into that space where it's like, oh, okay, someone said one negative comment about me in my comments, so now I'm gonna like hate myself for the next 5 days. It's like, nah, like I have the freedom to look at that and be like, yo, that's how you feel.
Okay, right, I have the freedom to not even have comments on my shit. Now we have the freedom to do that.
Exactly,
you know what I mean?
Where you can control what you're intaking, whether that's like in the physical realm of like taking the comments out or just not taking the comment in, even if you read it. Like, all right, cool. Right. Like, you know, and also like praying, you know, whatever you believe in. Like, you know, when I see things like that, I always pray for the person, because I'm like, you know, clearly something's going on with them, and I'm sorry that I'm triggering it for you, but I'm not. That's not mine, so I'm not gonna take that. As far as our power, money, power, respect. I keep on saying them backwards. Respect, okay? How we're going to navigate respect and understand respect within ourselves is also, it's like, it's opening yourself up to being a channel, right? It's the fifth card in the tarot. It's the major arcana. It's the Hierophant, right? That is the channel. That is the person who reads cards. That is the person. That is the priest. The, you know, the oracle. Whoever it is. Like, that's what the energy of it.
Look at the photo. Like, money, power, respect. They're on a throne. Like, got my hand up. Like, bitch, sit down.
At the same token, like, they're sitting down. You know what I'm saying? Because there's something above them.
Right.
So, like, knowing that there is something above you and there's something below you, and everything is equally beside you. It's like it's all an illusion in that way. Like, you know, so what if I were to put it into a sentence, it would be taking charge in order to tune in with your financial situation. Taking charge of the situation by doing what feels good for you in your heart. Like, that's how you know that's something you should be pursuing. You know, when you start to feel full by doing it, you know, so financially just doing the things that feel nourishing to you in that way. Power is all about finding that freedom to know what you can take in and what not to take in, and to understand that you can divine what you are experiencing in that way. Like, if you feel like, you know, ingesting dairy every day is not good for you and it's not feeling right, like, you can have the freedom and the choice to not do that. Obviously, if funds are in a bind and someone hands you a grilled cheese, just pray over it. You know what I mean? Like, you can't always, like, you know, I'm a firm believer.
Think chicken thoughts.
Yeah, think like, just think non-dairy thoughts, you know, if that's something that you're struggling with, and just apply that same modality and that method to everything else. Understanding respect is by just allowing yourself to navigate, like, all right, well, when I'm in this space, like, am I respecting myself? And if I'm respecting myself, am I being respected?
Right.
And if I'm not, then figuring out where it is, because sometimes we're not being respected because we're not putting those boundaries and respecting ourselves. We're not communicating that. So
that's true. I will definitely agree to that, because there's been plenty of times where I could have stopped a situation and said, all right, enough is enough. But I just kept it up because of, you know, reputation and showing face and, you know, sticking things through to the end and things like that. So
yeah, all of that is like it comes out to be like it's our own pride, you know, our own pride that comes in between that sometimes. So to conclude the pod, I just want to give us a lovely little sound bath with the solar plexus bowl. So if you're into that kind of thing, take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. And close your eyes if that feels good for you, or if that's safe for you to do while you're listening to this. And I want to play this bowl while these cards are still out so we can really integrate those messages. I pray as I play this quartz bowl that everything that we talked about today is deeply rooted in our solar plexus, and it's about our belief of ourself. You know, it's about our fear of ourself. It's about our insecurities as well as our confidence. And I invite you to listen to this, the sound of this bowl, and tune into your body. Allow yourself to feel whatever it is to feel, break up whatever it is to break up, create whatever it is to create, destroy whatever it is to destroy, and just really allow yourself to focus in on your solar plexus, which is right above your belly button, which is your energy center, to strengthen that bond with yourself, to learn that relationship, that everything starts with us. So taking that deep breath in through your nose and out through our mouth, releasing any tension in our body, in our jaw, shoulders, back, allowing yourself to melt down into your seat and receive the vibration. Feels good for you, repeating after me. I believe in myself.
I believe in myself.
I trust myself.
I trust myself.
I'm confident in myself.
I'm confident in myself.
I'm worthy of money.
I'm worthy of money.
I know and honor my power.
I know and honor my power.
I respect myself.
I respect myself.
Whenever it feels good for you to just take some deep breaths and ground yourself by saying your name either out loud or in your head 3 times to call yourself back into the space. And thank you so much for joining us here today and tuning in with Duality, with Girl on the Rocks, and, you know, with your money, power, and respect, because we're a reflection, you know? We're a reflection here.
That was cool, you guys. That really was, like, going through my head like that. It was so cool. Well, that was nice.
And thank you so much for coming on. Thank you for everyone who is listening. May this podcast reach you whenever it is meant to and remind you of anything that you need to be reminded of. You take what resonates and leave what doesn't.
Yes.
See you next week.